What's up, guys? This is Antoine Robinson. I'm back with another video. Today I'm starting a beginner gardener series, just trying to show you guys how easy it is to grow a variety of different plants right at your own home. Right here I've got a wonderful basil plant that I've been growing for several months. I've already gotten quite a bit of harvest off of this, but I want to show you that I can grow this basil plant and you can grow it too. And so we're going to grow this basil here, and I'm going to show you how I did it. You can either grow basil through seeds, or you can do what is called propagation and take parts of an existing basil plant and grow it. I'm going to show you both ways of how I grow basil. Normally when I get ready to grow a basil plant like this, I just take some soil. You can use regular potting mix. It doesn't matter. These are super easy to grow, and you just take soil. You can put it in a little 3-inch container or bigger, whatever you want to do. And I just take a few seeds. You don't want these to go super deep. These are very small seeds, and they do take a while to germinate. And so that's why propagation is really the best way to grow basil. But for those who want to do it by seed, really all you have to do is, the seeds are super small, and I'll put an image that way you can see how small these seeds are compared to my hand. But they're super small, and I just take a few seeds and I just put them in this container. You don't really have to have like any type of hole. You can just put them on top and just scrape them in. But I just put a little indentation in there, sprinkle the seed around, and then cover them up. And all you have to do is just water them in. I water them in, and then I'll place this somewhere dark, and then I won't put them under the lights until they actually start germinating. And so I take most of my plants that I want to germinate, I put them in a dark place in my garage, and then they'll grow and germinate from here. And as soon as I start seeing some green leafy growth on them, that's when I'll start putting them under the lights. And so that's how you do it by seed. And then when you propagate, propagating is the best way. If you have an existing parent plant, or if you know someone who grows basils, all you have to do is take a cutting from that basil plant, and you can just easily propagate these. All you have to do is, for like this plant, you want to look for a node on the plant. And so you just want to go down the plant. And so this is, I'm going to take from this top part here that's already been growing here, and I'm just going to take a piece off of this. I'll show you here a little bit, where I've already cut and been harvesting from this plant. Actually, I'm going to take from this one. The more you harvest basil, the more it grows. And so what you want to do is just take a little basil plant like this, and if you cut it where you see the nodes are, where the plant starts to branch out, then all you have to do is take some of the bottom leaves, because you don't want all these leaves on here. You just take some of the bottom leaves off, and all you have to do is put this either in water, or you can put it directly in soil, and this will grow roots out of this bottom stalk. And once you have those roots growing, then all you have to do is put those roots in another container, and they'll grow. And so this one, I've got one already going here, and I'm going to put this one in this soil here. And this is really going to do well growing. Just put it down there, make sure you firm the soil all around it, and then you just want to keep it wet. Keep it wet and put it somewhere sunny. For me, I'll put it under some grow lights, and this will root and grow, and then I can put this anywhere in my garden. Basil is super easy to grow. All it needs is some well-drained soil, And so, soil is one of the biggest things. Like I said before, potting mix is super easy to get, super inexpensive. If you're using it in ground garden, obviously you want to add a little bit more to the soil, and so you don't want to use potting mix, but you want to use some type of garden mix that you want to put out there. I love to use compost and some of those other things. But just get some, for container gardening, you really just need some well-draining potting mix. It'll do good. Make sure you have some vermiculite in there, some perlite. You want some wood chips and just some organic matter in there, and then the soil will do good, and this plant will just thrive and grow in that type of soil. In addition to the soil, you do need some nutrients, and so these are not the biggest feeders, but they do like some nutrients, especially if you want these big leaves that this plant has. Then you really want to add in some nitrogen, and so you can use either some fish fertilizer. I love using this Alaska fish fertilizer, which is really, really good. And so you just add this to the water and then pour it into the plant. You can also use any type of organic fertilizer that is just an equal fertilizer. You just want to make sure it has nitrogen and potassium in there, or just nitrogen and phosphorus in there. Potassium you really need if you're growing like actual fruit, but this really just needs the nitrogen, and it'll do really well. Most potting mixes already have some fertilizer in there, which will keep this plant going, but once a month you want to add some more fertilizer just to keep it lively and happy and keep it going. I especially, like today, I'm going to harvest off of this plant, and so I'm going to give it some more fertilizer after I harvest, which will stimulate more growth and it will keep the plant growing. In addition to fertilizer, you also want to keep in mind the sun. This plant does not need a whole lot of sun. Actually, if you keep this in direct sunlight, it could actually kill the plant. And so what you want to do is put this in a place that gets 4 to 5 hours of sun, where I have my basil at, which I have it dispersed throughout the garden. And so areas that get direct sun, I make sure that it's shaded by something like tomatoes or peppers or something along that line. But I like to keep these, especially these potted plants, because it gets so hot in the 100-degree weather here. I put these close to the house or in an area where it gets 4 to 5 hours of morning sun, but then it has shade the rest of the day. If these get a whole lot of direct sunlight, they're going to be droopy, they're going to be sad, and they're really going to flower pretty quickly. And so it'll be really hard to keep these things happy and alive. And so make sure you watch out for the sun. And really all you need to do is make sure you keep up with the watering. Is the last thing. And so you water these regularly. Today I was hoping to do this video outside, but it's been raining, and so I grabbed one of the closest pots that I had and brought this in to do this video. But these don't need a whole lot of water. They don't like being sitting in soggy water, and so just make sure you're keeping an eye on it. If it starts to look droopy, then give it some water. For me, I water my plants every couple days, and so I just give this a little water and some fertilizer every couple days just to keep it happy. But you can always do the finger test, and if you stick your finger down into the soil, if it's cold and damp, then your soil's probably pretty good, but if it's dry, then you may want to add some water. Especially in these containers in the hot weather. The hot weather just bakes out the water, and so you can put that water in there and just give it a test every couple days. If it does feel that it's dry, just add some more water. One thing that can really help make sure that your plants stay wet is you can add some mulch. This plant stays pretty close to the house, so it's shaded most of the time, so I don't have to really worry about evaporation with this one. But you can add a little mulch around the plant, and it'll make sure that it stays happy and that water stays in there a lot longer. The water won't evaporate as it will if the sun's just baking on the soil. And so guys, that's how you can grow basil. I hope you give it a try. Seeds are cheap to get, but you can also go to any grocery store a lot of times, and those grocery stores will have some of these basil plants. You can take those basil plants, you can propagate and cut the leaves off, put them in some water, put them in some soil, and you're on your way to growing some great plants. Basil is just a wonderful product that you can use in your eggs. You can put it on top of your pizzas, or if you're somebody like me who likes to make basil pesto for your pastas and things like that, it's a super good vegetable for you to use. And so go give it a try and let me know how it goes. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you on the next one.